Hamas militants have released more hostages from Gaza. They include 14 Israelis and 3 Thai nationals who had been held captive in the Gaza Strip since the October 7 attacks by the Islamist militants who've been designated a terrorist group by the EU, US and others. Israel also freed 39 more Palestinian prisoners from Israeli custody. Now, with the 4-day truce between Israel and Hamas now in its final day, there are signs from both sides that it could be extended.
After more than 50 days in captivity, hostages arrived from Gaza to Israeli hospitals for medical checks. Among them, 3 Thai nationals greeted inside by previously released hostages, none of them needing urgent care.
They are undergoing a medical and emotional evaluation by the medical and psychosocial team.
The youngest captive to be released was 4-year-old Abigail Eden, a dual Israeli-American citizen. Both her parents were killed in the Hamas October 7th terror attacks.
You know, she's free and she's in Israel now. And so those who are now wrapping Abigail in love and care and the supportive services she needs, she's been through a terrible trauma.
Throughout the weekend, reunions like these between 9-year-old hostage Emily Korenberg and her sister brought hope amid the hostilities.
We finally got Emily back from the hands of the Gazan terrorists. She's lost a lot of weight from her face and body, but generally doing better than we expected.
Dozens of Palestinians were released from Israeli jails as part of the agreement. Crowds welcomed their return in Ramallah, celebrating.
We are very happy. Thank God for this joy. And we hope that all prisoners will be released.
As the pause in fighting nears its scheduled end, calls to extend the truce are growing, with both Israel and Hamas signaling there is a chance for a possible extension.
And for more on this, we're going to bring in DW correspondent Tania Krämer, who's in Jerusalem for us. It's good to see you, Tania. So this is, as we've been reporting, the last day of the ceasefire agreement. How likely is it that this deal will be extended at this point?
Well, I think it's still too early to say, and at the moment the focus is on getting those last hostages out under this deal that 50 hostages should be freed within those 4 days of the pause in fighting, and 150 Palestinian prisoners should be freed in exchange for that. So we understand that Israel has received a list with the names, but it seems also there are some problems. We are also hearing from Hamas there's a problem with the list of the Palestinian prisoners, and Qatar is mediating at the moment, that there are no last-minute delays. And of course, then, everybody is looking forward to see whether this deal could be extended. As you said, there is a provision in the outline of this agreement that for every 10 more hostages Hamas can free, there would be another day of the truce extended. But at the moment, we don't know whether this will happen. We understand both sides have signaled their interested in that, and everybody, Qatar, Egypt, and also the United States are working on that, but we have to wait and see whether this will actually happen.
Tania, for the past few days, we've been seeing these moving images of the hostages being reunited with their families. But what more can you tell us about the state that these hostages are in, the ones who've been released?
Well, so far we only heard from the medical staff, but also from some relatives. And, the medical staff, doctors have said the last hostages that were released on Sunday, especially the children, they were in stable condition. But there is one of the hostages, an 84-year-old elderly woman. She's in critical condition. She was airlifted immediately after she was released to a hospital. And of course, there's also the concern about, the trauma that the hostages have been going through, especially also for the children, but for some who only learn now what happened to their loved ones. Some of them have no home to go to. Of course, this is something that is a concern in the long term as well.
And Israel's Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, he visited troops inside Gaza on Sunday. What was his message there?
Well, I think it's mainly a message to the domestic public. I mean, for a prime minister to go into Gaza, to go into this area is basically showing or trying to show that we are in control here for now. He reiterated again, that Israel is, might be resuming the war because they need to attain their goals of eliminating Hamas, of eliminating their infrastructure. But of course, such a visit is also seen as a provocation, I would say, by many Palestinians.
All right, and that is our correspondent Tania Krämer reporting for us there in Jerusalem. We wait to hear if indeed that truce will be extended. Thank you so much for your reporting, Tania. And let's now move on to Jordan's capital, Amman, where we can speak to Ahmed Bayram from the Norwegian Refugee Council, NGO. We appreciate you being on the program, Ahmed. The big question today is whether the truce is going to be extended. What are you hearing?
Good morning. Like you report, there is a chance, and we hope a genuine chance of this truce being extended and the pause becoming a permanent ceasefire. Really, 4 days is never enough. 5 days is not enough. A week, a month is not enough to recollect and go and support these people. It's a disaster what is happening in Gaza, and we need the weight of the world thrown behind these negotiations. The 11th hour negotiations. We hope that we will get an outcome for the sake of the people, for the sake of the hostages, for the sake of the displaced, for the sake of the heavily wounded. It is vital hours that we are getting to now, and we are still full of optimism. We hope that everyone will come to that agreement and extend that pause.
And Ahmed, just give us a sense of how much aid organizations like yours managed to deliver over the past 3 days during the truce.
It might look better and more than we have seen before the truce. However, it's nowhere near enough. We had a few trucks making their way into Gaza, to bringing essentials, basic essentials, like water, like mats, like kitchen sets for people, spoons, plates, blankets, etc. But we are racing against time, really, and we can't operate in an environment where we know that the gates will close soon. We need not a trickle, we need a gush of aid coming through Gaza. I think now it's pretty futile to be talking about a number of trucks. What we need is is for the gates to continue to open so that we can reach more people.
And give us a sense of your preparations in the event that the truce is not going to be extended.
That would be a disaster scenario, really, for everyone involved, not just the Norwegian Refugee Council. We are at 5 shelters. We are, providing help there. We are providing some clean water, purified water. We will lose all of that almost. Our, movement around Gaza, we will lose that. And obviously, northern Gaza, we haven't even spoken about that. It's almost unreachable. Very little has got there. We can't lose these very little gains that we have made, and we need to capitalize on what we are making in terms of progress, in terms of aid. If the ceasefire was to be agreed tomorrow, Gaza would need years to go back to where it was before this all kicked off. And we need the international community to put humanity first and prioritize the needs of those people.
All right. Ahmed Bayram is from the Norwegian Refugee Council. We appreciate your time and insights. Thanks very much, Ahmed.
Thank you.